human relationships, the most delicate, profound, and sometimes the most painful part of our lives. The person you love the most might one day find your weakest point and strike you there. Your closest friend goes silent, turns away, and you're left drowning in a storm of questions inside. What did I do wrong? How should I behave? Is staying silent a sign of weakness? Yes, these questions are familiar to many of us because we are human, emotional beings who long to be understood and who often lose their strength within relationships. But imagine this, you're in a relationship and you don't lose your balance. No matter how much chaos or emotional tension surrounds you, you remain centered. Your silence is not a weakness, it's your greatest strength. In this video, I'll show you an alternative approach, relationships built on Stoic philosophy. This approach teaches you how to respond, even through silence, without needing to get angry. It shows you how to live by your principles, not by others' actions. I'll guide you through how to remain unshaken in relationships, how freeing it is to let go of expectations, and how to stay strong against emotional manipulation. More importantly, this is not just a theoretical philosophy. It's a practical, time-tested roadmap that works and that can truly transform you. It's worth watching this video until the end, because I'll share 5 key Stoic principles that most people don't know, yet they can completely transform your relationships. With these principles, you'll not only protect your relationships, you'll learn to protect your own life energy. If you want not to burn out but to evolve, not to be hurt but to grow stronger, not to fight endlessly but to respond with inner calm, then this video is for you. If you find it valuable, hit the like button, share your thoughts in the comments. Maybe someone else is going through exactly what you are. And subscribe to the channel, because here you'll find not just information, but content that gives you inner strength. Here's the first principle. Lower your expectations. Free yourself. The greatest disappointments come from the greatest expectations. If you constantly expect understanding, love, attention, support, and change from someone, life will soon crush you under the weight of those expectations, because people don't behave the way we imagine. They are not our ideal versions of them. They are who they truly are. And each time we expect more than someone can give, we're setting ourselves up for disappointment. Think about it. You expected someone to reply immediately to every message, and they didn't. Now you're hurt. You needed them during your hardest time, but they weren't there. Now you're disappointed. You hoped they'd change someday, that they'd finally understand, but they never did. Sound familiar? Because we all fall into the same trap, wanting to change others. But Stoics say, if you walk away from this trap, you step into freedom. Don't get attached to something whose nature you cannot change, because you don't own others' thoughts or actions, but you do own your reaction. What does this mean? It means you no longer ask, why did they do that? You no longer get angry because someone didn't understand you. Instead, you begin trying to understand yourself better. Because in relationships, the greatest strength is emotional freedom. And that freedom comes the moment you stop trying to control someone else's behavior and start adjusting your own expectations. If you expect someone else to make you happy, you'll spend every day wondering, why didn't they do this or that? But when you understand that happiness is already within you, then the other person's actions won't shake you. They didn't reply. That's their responsibility, not yours. They didn't understand you. Your worth is not measured by someone else's understanding. They don't want to change. Because your job is not to fix them, but to grow yourself. When you stop expecting, you become free from disappointment. Criticism, silence, indifference, none of it controls you anymore, because you've already worked through these patterns within yourself. Remember, your job is not to meet others' expectations of you. Your job is not to measure your worth by someone else's actions. Your job is to manage yourself and to find strength within your own calm. A Stoic relationship is a free relationship. The more you reduce your expectations, the more peace you create in your heart. The more you detach from emotional reactions, the more energy returns to you. And you're no longer a prisoner of your relationships. You become the mindful leader of them. The second principle is about inner calm, and this is the very foundation of healthy relationships. There is one thing in relationships that's crucial but often forgotten: silence. That is not rushing to react, not scrambling for a quick comeback just to avoid being outspoken, not getting irritated by every word, every glance, or every moment of silence. Because no matter how smart you are, when emotions take control, the balance in a relationship breaks. You stop thinking and start reacting with feelings. Someone says something harsh, you reply even more harshly. They go silent, you take it as disrespect and become tense. But maybe they're just tired, deep in thought, or simply don't want to talk. Marcus Aurelius once said, "If someone does wrong to you, that's their issue. But how you respond, that's your responsibility." These words might seem simple, but they can change the entire foundation of how you relate to others. Because from that moment on, you stop giving your power away and start keeping it with yourself. The secret of the Stoics is this: instead of reacting, they choose. They teach us not to be slaves to what happens around us. Real strength is not allowing someone to provoke you. Real freedom is staying true to your values in the face of silence or criticism. This doesn't mean you should tolerate everything. No, it means knowing that you don't have to respond to everything. Because every reaction means a loss of energy. Every time you react impulsively, you lose control. The best responses are born out of calmness. Because in calmness, you have the ability to speak with reason. Imagine an argument. The other person criticizes your opinion and speaks angrily. If you instantly get irritated and respond without listening, that's reacting. But if you stay calm, listen, and respond thoughtfully, that's responding by choice. When one of the two remains calm, the tension in the relationship begins to melt away. That calmness isn't silence. It's a powerful clarity. How does inner calm emerge? By observing yourself. By testing your emotions internally instead of expressing them immediately. By understanding yourself and giving control not to others, but to your inner world. Inner calm doesn't just save relationships, it transforms you. You no longer become someone who gets drained in relationships, but someone who protects their own stability. Remember, staying calm is not weakness. Not reacting is not fear. Sometimes silence is the most powerful answer. If you truly want to change, if you want to be healthier in your relationships, the first step is to develop inner calm. It's not easy, but the Stoics show us that it's possible. And when you develop this strength, no one will be able to disturb your inner depth. The third principle is about the art of handling criticism and conflict. Because the most difficult moments in relationships are those involving conflict and criticism. Someone says something harsh to you. They judge you without understanding. Or they dismiss something that's important to you, and you feel like exploding inside. In such moments, most of us react the same way. We defend ourselves, try to prove we're right, and respond instantly. But the Stoics show a different way. If you respond to every stone thrown at you, you'll lose your path. Criticism is not always an attack. It's important to understand this first. Not every criticism is hostility. Sometimes people speak without understanding us, because they don't have clarity within themselves. Sometimes when someone hurts you, it's not about you. It's about the inner confusion they're living through. The Stoics say, it's not the words that hurt you, it's the meaning you attach to them. So you might be calm on the outside, but if you take criticism personally, you'll instantly react, and that will drain your energy and escalate the tension even more. So what should you do? The Stoic approach: listen, think, respond. 1. Listen. When the other person is speaking, don't react impulsively. Just listen. Try to understand not just the words, but the reason behind them. 2. Think, what is this criticism showing you? Is there some truth in it, or is it just an emotional outburst? 3. Respond. If a response is necessary, speak calmly and thoughtfully. but often not responding is the stronger move. Your calmness will make some people more uncomfortable because they want to pull you down to their level, but you choose direction, not reaction. Imagine someone tells you, "You've changed. You used to be better." If you take these words personally, discomfort will arise within you.
What did I do wrong?
Why do they see me this way? And just like that, you'll begin to measure your worth based on someone else's perspective. But if you respond with Stoic thinking, "That's their opinion, but I know who I am," in that moment you protect your power. And this is an essential quality in every relationship. Calmness in the midst of conflict is true strength. The ability to stay calm during an argument can either fix or destroy a relationship within seconds. Responding to every word is not power. True power is having the ability to respond, but choosing not to. Because the more you lose yourself, the more you lose control over the relationship. But the more you stay calm and speak thoughtfully, the better you can skillfully manage even the most dangerous moments. Criticism isn't always meant to break you. Sometimes it's meant to shape you. Winning the argument isn't what matters. Coming out of it emotionally healthy is. Your greatest advantage is your ability to protect your calm. And the Stoics practiced this ability every single day. Now this art belongs to you, because now you're ready to change. The fourth principle is empathy and understanding. The strongest people are not the ones who can silence others. The strongest are those who understand why someone goes silent. We often think that showing understanding is a sign of weakness. If I try to understand them, maybe I won't confront them, and they'll take advantage of that. But in reality, understanding is the deepest strength in relationships. Because where there is understanding, anger disappears. Where there is empathy, battles are replaced by calm explanations. And you no longer act just to protect yourself, you act to protect the connection. Epictetus said, "Do not judge a person without first understanding why they act that way." Because every person has a story behind them. Maybe the person who criticizes you is drowning in criticism themselves. Maybe the one who wants to hurt you is actually broken inside. What is empathy? Empathy is not approving someone's behavior. Empathy is understanding why that behavior happened. You don't have to forgive them completely, but if you try to understand them, you soften your own anger, and that protects your inner energy. Showing empathy doesn't benefit the other person first, it benefits you. Imagine someone close to you is ignoring you, refusing to talk to you. Your first reaction might be, "Why are they disrespecting me? So I'm not important anymore." These thoughts will only make you angry. But now look through the lens of empathy. Maybe they're just tired. Maybe they're fighting their own inner battle. Maybe their silence has nothing to do with you. Maybe they're struggling to find answers for themselves. Showing understanding in moments like this is a kind of silent healing. It may not completely fix the relationship, but it will keep you from being emotionally drained. Why is empathy a Stoic strength? Because the Stoic said, "Your reaction defines who you are. If you respond to every wound with another wound, you become just like them. But if you respond with understanding, you protect your energy." People like this don't bend under pressure in relationships. They remain calm but steady. Empathy is a silent yet profound power. To understand is to change. In relationships, a person who shows empathy is someone who is at peace with themselves. When you understand what lies beneath someone's behavior, you begin to see life differently. Sometimes the other person won't change, but you will, and that change will turn you into someone stronger, more understanding and less affected. This transformation makes relationships not only healthier, but also deeper. The fifth principle is setting boundaries. Wanting to be loved by everyone, trying to never hurt anyone, always saying yes just to preserve relationships. These may sound noble, but more often than not, they lead to losing yourself. Because someone who can never say no is always silently screaming help on the inside. So what is a boundary? A boundary is not about building walls between you and others. It's about recognizing your values and your comfort zone and protecting them. That means you are not obligated to answer every call. You are not obligated to say yes to every request. You are not forced to stay silent when someone speaks to you disrespectfully. The Stoics say, protecting yourself is not a duty against others. It is a duty to yourself. Why is setting boundaries difficult? Because we're afraid. If I say no, they won't like me. If I don't agree, it will ruin things. If I step back, I'll end up alone. But here's the truth. When you constantly say yes, people don't attach to you. They attach to the role you're playing. And that's not a real bond. It's a trap of silent self-sacrifice. The Stoics teach us, you are not here to please others. You are here to live in alignment with your values. So don't lose yourself out of fear of losing someone else. If a relationship can't handle your no, then it was never truly worthy of your yes. Imagine someone constantly drains your energy. They complain, waste your time, and manipulate you. And you stay silent, endure it, even smile, because you don't want to hurt them. But what happens in the end? You hurt yourself. Now think differently. You calmly but firmly say, this is becoming too exhausting for me. I need some space. They might feel offended, but you will have protected your inner dignity. And that's the first test of a real relationship. Boundaries are born from love. When you say no, you are not rejecting someone. You are choosing yourself. You love the other person, but you also remember to love yourself. True love is strengthened by boundaries. Saying yes to everything is not love. Love is honesty, transparency, and maintaining a healthy connection through respectful limits. Every time you say no, you protect your self-worth. Every time you voice your needs instead of staying silent, you build real connections, not fake ones. And you become someone who can love others without losing yourself. This is not just a behavior. It's a living reflection of the Stoic life. Sometimes we think that in order to fix a relationship, the other person must change. They must be more understanding, more attentive, more patient. But Stoic thinking shows us a completely different way. True strength is not in changing others. True strength is in managing yourself. If you've learned to choose patience instead of reaction, if you can respond to someone's silence with calm, if you can love with understanding, without losing yourself, and still with boundaries, then you've already taken your first steps into a Stoic relationship. So what are Stoic relationships? What do they teach us? They teach us to live by principles, not impulsive reactions. They show us how to build closeness through freedom, not force. They help us master the art of silence, understanding, waiting, and inner strength. Staying calm is not weakness. Loving without expectations is not indifference. Setting boundaries is not running away from relationships. These are signs of inner stability, emotional maturity, and real love. And Stoic philosophy gives us these gifts. If you want to feel less drained in your relationships, understand yourself better, build stronger, deeper bonds, then welcome the Stoic approach into your life. This isn't just a philosophy, it's a path to inner freedom. Thank you for watching until the end. Don't forget to like the video. It motivates us to keep creating more valuable content like this. Share in the comments. How do you apply the Stoic mindset in your relationships? What's challenging? What really works? Let's learn from each other. And of course, subscribe to the channel, because here you'll find not just information, but deep philosophical and psychological insights that empower your inner strength. We'll see you in the next video.